Welcome to East Coast DNA. We have Good Dear Good, most of the band here, which is more than we usually get. Tim, you've definitely been referenced a few times, and Brandon, you're always accommodating when we get the chance to sit down. So it's nice to have you guys back. And Izra, we've never actually sat down to talk on any of these episodes. So it's nice to have you here for sure.
Nice to do it finally.
And missing from the picture, you don't have Connor there with you today. Is he off with Ate and Jax, or
He's off doing Connor business as usual. No,
Yeah.
he's teaching at Long McQuaid today.
Okay.
Yeah, he couldn't make it in today. So
I actually probably see him more than any of you, and he's rarely on the podcast either. So it's kind of funny.
Hard to pin down.
Yeah, now that I do have all three of you here, I do want to start for a second with Izra, because we haven't had an opportunity here. I did mention to you a couple times in person that I was aware of your art outside of music, and you incorporate that in with your music career as well. So I know that you've done some album covers and some t-shirts and stuff for a few other bands outside of Good Dear Good as well, but you also wrote a children's book years ago.
yeah way back when I was a teenager. I did that one. Visual arts, it was always that used to be like what the dream was. I thought I was going to go into visual arts and design, and then music took over, and doing the NXNE program, it just kind of solidified it. But I still love designing things for bands. I love to draw. I love the whole like visual part of music so much.
And with Good Dear Good, I know you don't do all of the artwork. Did you do the new album cover, or did you guys have someone else for that one?
That was JD Boudreau.
Yeah.
Okay. Did the EP artwork. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'll have to keep an eye out for more of their work as well.
Oh, it's amazing.
Oh, it's incredible.
He does such a good job. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm noticing that there's a few people that have a similar line work that are, it seems to be becoming like the Halifax indie look for for artwork lately. Anyway, the last maybe 2-3 years. So anyway, I do know that, Izra, once again, for your artistic side, as far as visuals, that you have a solo career as well. I've caught some of your showcases before, and I've seen some of the material that you've put out online, and you have sort of a superhero persona type aspect to that as well. Is that something that you're able to continue in parallel with Good Dear Good? Or I do realize you're also doing a lot of work with Keeper E.
Yes. So yeah, these three bands are all really important to me. And yeah, so far it's been great being able to, it's like all my friends at the same time. So I get to play music with my people. And then but yeah, Izra Fitch is also very important to me.
We'll have to keep an eye out for more of that coming in the future. I'm sure that over the next few months that Good Dear Good is a priority for all of you, because there's a new EP coming out on June 16th. And so Arrival's the name of it, which I keep finding personally funny because I kept waiting for the arrival.
Well, that's kind of it's been the running title with, like, I think since we started, we're like, the first EP will be called Arrival, and now it's 4 years into having the band, and it's finally here, finally arrived. So
will that EP be a collection? Like, you've had songs out in the past, you've had some music videos out in the past. We've probably played all of your singles in one of our playlists over the last couple of years for this podcast too. And I know when you did the Emerge video series there was a few new songs that were in there that you've since released as singles, like with full studio versions. So is this EP a collection of singles to date, or is there new material slid in there as well?
Yeah, so it's going to be 7 songs in total. So the first 5 are our previously released singles, and then we have 2 bonus tracks, Other Thing and then Arrival, which is kind of like the theme song of the EP itself. So 2 bonus tracks that haven't been released before, plus our newly released or previously released music as well.
And I think as of this recording, Coffee and Sunshine is in the East Coast countdown at number 8, maybe.
Oh,
and,
cool. I wasn't aware of that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
As of this recording, let's pretend that everybody's heard it on the radio. I maybe heard it in a little in advance, but yes, you're number 8 as of this recording. So
Cool.
congratulations there.
Thank you.
Keep an eye out for you on the CIOE list as well. They didn't, as of this recording, the latest list isn't out yet. So I'll have to keep an eye out to see your name popping up in there as well.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
And you've since Coffee and Sunshine was Better released after that?
Yes, yeah. So a month after Coffee and Sunshine was Better, and then a month after Better is the EP. Month-ish, so it's not quite to the date, but
awesome.
Close.
So I'm sure that at some point, once some of the buzz off the first couple singles dies down a little bit and the EP's out, there's going to be another one of those, probably one of the newer songs, probably as another follow-up single at some point.
Yeah, so we're actually currently recording right after this interview. Actually, we're going to go up and upstairs and finish up recording. We're releasing a cover of July by Noah Cyrus. It's been a part of our set the last little while now. So that's going to be coming out in July. And then, yeah, hoping in the fall to do some more recording or some more releases of our newer stuff and our more kind of stripped back stuff.
So look for any new music videos coming out of this?
Nothing really planned yet. We have some plans nothing that's come to fruition yet, but we have some plans to do some recording when we're in Toronto next week, maybe with a little camcorder. See what comes of that. But nothing as far as music videos go that's solidified yet. But
and now you mentioned going to Toronto, so at the time of the EP release you'll be at North by Northeast, is that correct?
Yeah, the day of our showcase.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. I'm assuming that some of the masterminds you have working with you had timed some of that, or is that just a happy coincidence?
It was absolute coincidence.
I love it.
It was something that I had applied for, like it feels like a year ago. Like it was even before we started working with Lulo. So it all just really came together coincidentally. Awesome. Very luckily. It was pretty cool.
Very quick.
Yeah.
I shouldn't admit it, but probably 99% of things that look like I put a lot of effort into coordinating stuff for the podcast, it was just coincidence. Things just happen.
Yeah. Somebody on your side, obviously.
They're like, here's your date and here's your time slot, and you're like, oh, that's the same day our EP comes out.
Yeah.
Playing 10 p.m. on a Friday at this festival out of the province, and it's the day that our EP comes out. It's ideal.
Yes, perfect. And good for you to get exposure in a different region, because you're obviously known well in this region on the East Coast, so it's good for you to be getting all of that exposure at the same time.
Totally.
You are coming back, and I did see that you have a date in August in Ganesh.
Yes, yeah, August 5th.
So is that a festival lineup?
Yeah, it's like it's a day festival that runs from I think it's like 3 p.m. to 11. Lots of other really great artists on that one as well. I'm from that area. I'm from Niels Harbor, which is sorry, Leroy's our cat's knocking everything all over the place.
My phone.
This is my table. But yeah, I'm from Niels Harbor, which is like a half an hour away from Ingonish, and just lots of good friends there. And my buddy Darren was putting together the show, and I haven't been home with the full band yet, which is super exciting. So he threw us on there, and we get to go rock the ski hill.
Perfect. And so you will have a lot of kind of hometown fans that'll be coming out for something like that too.
A lot of people from home haven't seen us live before. We played Sydney a couple times, so a few people have made the trip from there. But yeah, it's going to be cool cool to show everybody what we've been up to the last little while for sure.
And Brandon, are you from that area, or are you from
I'm
another
from
region?
Lakes, so
Okay.
a bit further away. Yeah.
And for the new album, I knew that with the re-recordings of some of the songs there, because I had heard songs live and heard things on some video content that you had online before, but I had written you there when Coffee and Sunshine came out about the sound for the bass. It sounded a lot fuller in that recording, and it just really, I said that to somebody else on one of these episodes recently, that a bass hook in a song usually grabs me like right away. If there's a really good one at the beginning of the song, I'll probably listen to the song 5 or 6 times before I realize there's anything else going on in there.
I
So
totally agree.
that one grabbed me right off the bat. Did you find that with recording the EP that you changed your style at all going into these songs? Because like I said, I've heard you perform them before and it sounds a little different on the recording.
I don't think so. I feel like it's just mainly like when you're going in to record, it's very much like, I mean business in here. Like, but when I'm on the stage, it's like we're very much like having fun sort of thing. So I think that might be more of the difference.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it might be more like uppity and like poppier in like the live sections. But when recording, I think I'm trying to make it a bit more like professional and like keep it like perfect, I guess, if that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Where does John Mullane come in there, the future dad, with him working on the album? Is he guiding you guys a little bit on tweaking some things from his experience working with other bands and his own music?
Not so much anymore. He helped us with production, and pretty much we did everything from the ground up with John for the first 3 singles. And then for these more recent ones, we did rhythm guitar, bass, and drums at Fang with Thomas Stacer. And then we did recording at home for vocals, synth, lead guitar, and backup vocals. And then John mixes everything. So he does the mixing and editing, things like that. And then he sends it off to Christian Montano for mastering. So John's still a very large portion of our processes now. But this sort of like this streamlined kind of work, method, just really picked up the pace with us able to record things, just because before it was just like we have many different schedules to coordinate. So people to do a lot of that from home was huge. So it was very helpful in us getting everything out as quick as we did.
And I didn't even mention anything to do with Izra working with like a motorcycle. I'm planning on covering more of that on a future episode, hopefully in the very near future as well. So we will revisit that for anyone that's like, what's Darcy talking about? But do you find, well, like Tim and Brandon, like you guys are partners, so you're obviously together a lot. So coordinating your schedules would be exponentially easier. But working as a full band, do you find it hard to coordinate everyone? Because there is a lot of activity. Everyone in the band is busy doing all sorts of things all the time. So is it hard to coordinate, or do you pretty much have to say, all right, with the group of us are doing this effort for this project for this period of time, so we gotta kind of focus on that in these pockets of time?
Yeah, it's like anything, I guess. It's just a matter of, giving everybody enough notice to like get things sorted, because I understand that like everybody has, even aside from music stuff, everybody has their personal stuff going on, and you kind of need to plan around that. So thankfully anything that we're doing is usually pretty far in advance. We know what's going on, so we can plan accordingly, whether that's, needing to get a sub for a certain show, or needing to reschedule things with other people, whatever works best for us. But it's like anything, it takes some time to kind of settle into those methods of working, but now that we're kind of used to it, it's absolutely fine for sure.
And now I know that the first couple singles that you were promoting throughout this year with Lulo, lyrically, I know you talked a lot about things with mental health, and I know, being that this is Pride Month as well, it's not something that I normally talk about a lot on the podcast because I don't specifically point out any of that in the music that I listen to, but I know that that's something that's important to your band as well, to kind of both represent and make sure that people know that your shows are safe spaces.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, between those two things, and being that this is Pride Month, so I mean, it is topical, I almost feel like I have a little bit of an obligation to bring the topic up anyway. So I'm curious, does that actually, I come from an extreme point of privilege where I can choose whether or not I even witness anything happening out there, right? So has that been an issue for the band at all? Like, anything that I've been around was in a safe space, so everything was celebrating the music. But have you guys had any controversy with that over the years?
Thankfully, not really, not directly at us as a
Yeah.
band, I wouldn't say. I'm sure we've all had our individual run-ins with issues
Sure.
in any sort of degree, but thankfully, yeah, for the most part, it's just been very much support that we've received as far as the band goes. And like yeah, like it's you know, the music comes first. It just happens that we are part of this community, so we want to make sure everybody who is, you know, also sharing these feelings or sharing this sort of community that we're in, we want them to know that they're welcome at all times. And anybody is like, anybody's welcome at our, and we don't want anybody to feel like they can't show up anywhere without you know, or with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I've not, like I said, I've not witnessed anything myself on either side. I've not seen anyone that's like, well, I can't go to that show because I don't feel comfortable, or I don't like that band because of that. Like, I don't witness any of that, but I was curious, just based on the fact that the timing of the year and everything that's going on. We did see some stuff locally in the news lately around here where there was maybe an indication that there's some not so friendly people around, but it seems like that got stomped out pretty quick in my local region anyway. So
yeah, and I think
very
there's
happy.
a lot of that stuff kind of cropping up everywhere,
Mhm.
unfortunately, not just in the Maritimes or not just in the States, it's everywhere, because these people are, you know, given a platform now to voice their, and I mean, everybody has a platform when you're on social media, so it's just a matter of, you know, trying not to let it control how you are and who you are, and like, yeah, just keep living your life as best you can, and that's all you can do.
And on the mental health side, I know the Coffee and Sunshine talks about kind of some of the systemic problems in our system, and well, specifically how long it can take to get help. But I know that specifically for musicians in our region, I'd mentioned on this podcast before that there is that Sound Minds program, which is wonderful if anyone wants to reach out to them that's a musician or a member of any of our music organizations around here. There's help available within Nova Scotia, and I'm sure that some of that extends outside of our region. Is there any particular organizations or anything that you guys specifically wanted to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the same thing that you're speaking about, but through Music Nova Scotia, it's something that I've used multiple times. And it's if you are a Music Nova Scotia member, you get free counsel sessions. So you can speak with somebody if it's at least just to get you through a certain amount of time until you can see another doctor that you're more familiar with or whatever it is. They've been incredibly helpful, and it's been huge. So that's something that I would definitely recommend to any musician buds out there that are with Music Nova Scotia. If you need some counseling, that's a huge resource. Probably the most beneficial resource that you can get out of Music Nova Scotia. I mean, they offer great things. I'm not saying that's the only thing that you can get out of there, but no, it's a really great resource.
I'm not ashamed to admit I've used it myself. It's like burnout is real, and I'm sure that there's a lot of parallels between what I'm doing and what musicians are doing as far as how you can burn yourself out pretty quick in that area. So it is a wonderful program. I do like to promote it. And it is sad to hear that people don't have the resources available to them. I have seen delays before for things, but once again, I realize I have a point of privilege here where I've not had that experience where I've had to wait a very long period of time to get any help. But I do like to mention, especially since a lot of our audience is other musicians from the region, that there's help available and ready and willing to help you right now. So it's important just to speak up and reach out, identify when you need that help too, I guess.
Yes,
for sure.
yeah.
And so you guys are going to be going into a very, very busy period of time. So make sure that you look after yourselves as well.
Yeah.
We've been trying.
Yeah. And so before you head up to Ontario, when are you heading out? You must be leaving soon.
Thursday.
Oh, Thursday, really, really soon.
Yeah, so very soon. Getting excited.
And you're going to be able to wrangle up Connor and take him with you?
Connor's actually not coming with us this time.
Oh, really?
So we have Michael Arbu. He's played with Izra before. He plays with Tevin Tynes, is another group, another person that he plays with. Great drummer. He's accompanying us for Toronto.
Okay.
So he's filling in for Connor because can't remember what Connor's doing, something that he can't make it, but yeah.
Now that I'm thinking, the last references to Connor on this podcast was the little thread of him hiding from Family Man visiting from Montreal because they were going to take over as the #1 drummer. So I've not seen him. And I don't think the podcast has referenced him at all. And now you're saying that he's missing and you're not sure where he's at.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that we've come to accept that.
Yeah, I do have plans to reach back out to the guys from Family Man. So I'll have to check, see if maybe they have any indication on where Connor is and maybe some proof of life.
Yeah, exactly.
I suspect that he's tied up somewhere in Montreal.
Yeah, a ransom note.
And do you guys have more plans to be touring off the EP then going into the fall? You must be ramping up some plans.
Yeah, so we do have some stuff coming up in the fall. That's when we're aiming to do an actual hometown release show. It's going to be in the fall. We're also playing at Contact East in September, so we're going to be going to that in Woody Point, Newfoundland. Really small little place. We're very excited to go play at that. So it's going to be a really great time. And then so we don't have anything sort of really set out yet as far as like a structured tour goes, but it's definitely on the list of things to do, probably in the later end of next year, beginning of next year, later end of this year type thing.
Yeah, we're getting closer to those timeframes. Make sure to let us know what the dates are. If we'll either do a follow-up or we'll push some of the dates out in some of our social medias, or might even get into doing some actual music news episodes at some point, which was the original purpose of this podcast, but it's been music interviews 99% of the time. So wait and see where that goes.
Yeah, sounds good.
So I'm excited to hear the new album. I can't wait to hear the new to me songs, especially. I'm sure they're great, so I'm very excited for that. I do want to keep an eye on what you're all doing as individuals as well. It should be a pretty exciting year for you guys, and I wish you all the best. And hopefully your touring doesn't interfere with you attending Music Week this year, because I'd like to catch up with you again in November if you happen to be around.
Yeah, we'll be there regardless. So
yeah.
Awesome. Have you guys been in that region as a band yet, like down Yarmouth way?
Not as a band.
No, I've never even been in person.
Newfoundland new for you guys as well too, then, with the Contact East?
We haven't played outside of the province before, or really that much outside of Halifax. We played Cape Breton a bit, but yeah.
Well, that's super exciting.
That's the time.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to coordinate some type of follow-up maybe later in the summer, early fall, leading up to Music Week, so we can hear about all your adventures and the success of the new EP.
Yeah, absolutely. Sweet.
Well, I'll thank you for your time today. And as we end the episode, would you like your fans to hear a particular song?
You can play Better, I guess. Better's our
Perfect.
newest one. That's the new baby out there. So yeah, unless you guys had any other.
Better.
What do you think? Yeah,
Better.
better works for me.
Excellent. We'll play off with Better, and we'll keep an eye out for your upcoming cover and your new EP.
Yeah.
And anyone that's in any of the tour date areas, be sure to get out and catch this band while you can.
Amazing.
Sweet.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Hey.
Is it really worth it? Do I even care? I worry, is it really something else out there? It floats to the surface with its menacing glare, asking why I gotta be so insincere. Fumbling forward, struggling forward now. You're trembling hard even though you're tired. Wait for the side effects to subside. Just sit pretty with your rearranged smile. Exceptional waste of time. You had me cornered. Impractical peace of mind. Without a little bit of crazy in my brain. Take a step back and we're all the same. Murdering the world for our own damn sake. Exceptional waste of time. You had me cornered. Impractical peace of mind. I'm feeling better. Stumbling, trying to break through.